and Maine Health Stevens Hospital. Please help us.
Welcome in, folks, to our Twin Town Homes Game of the Week. Once again, it's between the Bangor Rams and the Oxford Hills Vikings. More time, welcome in. Good evening. I'm Ryan Coolidge. We've got a very good, hopefully very good matchup coming in tonight on our Class A North semifinals matchup between the third-seeded Bangor Rams and the second-seeded Oxford Hills Vikings. These two teams played each other last week. It was Oxford Hills winning that matchup, earning home field advantage for this week's game, 34-7. Bangor turned it over 4 times that game. Jackson Stack was our top subtract driven away player of the game, if you remember from last week on Halloween. This week, Bangor out for revenge. I usually get here around 5 o'clock just to help set up and everything. I got here like 4:50. Bangor's entire team already here at the Gouin, standing at midfield, having a talk with their coaching staff. They've been out here a lot before this game's getting underway. They are trying to not have a repeat of last week where they were favored by most everyone in the state who was predicting games, favored by most everyone, ended up losing to the Vikings, and now they have to travel down to South Paris back-to-back weeks. Oxford Hills on their senior night won last week. They host Bangor in the playoffs after last season not making it in their first year with Coach Danforth at the head coaching position. Year number 2, they're already back in it. Vikings have deferred and will be kicking off to Bangor to begin. The winner of this game tonight will take on the winner of the other Class A North semifinal matchup going on right now. That is between the Portland Bulldogs and the Deering Rams. We'll try to get some updates from that game as well as the other games in the Class A South region. Their semifinal matchups also going on this week. So we'll try to keep everyone in the loop to see who will be playing who next week. Cam Polkinen will tee this one up. He will be kicking off to begin this postseason for the Vikings. Back deep to return for Bangor. It looks like Hayden Summerlin and Trey Tennant. Polkinen gonna run up, and we are underway here at the Gouin. It is fielded by Summerlin. Summerlin has a lane to run. He's going to be wrapped up close to the 30, a few yards shy of that, and eventually brought down and play whistled dead. So that will bring out Kyle Johnson and the Rams offense. They begin their first possession at the 28. Rams started last week's game receiving the opening kickoff, driving down the field and scoring on the opening drive. That would be the only score of the game for the Rams, as they were outscored 34-0 the remainder of the game. Here's 1st and 10. Johnson, here we go, design QB run. Johnson breaks through the second level. Here he goes up the sideline to the 40, the 30, giving chase, trip down, and on the first play from scrimmage, Bangor finds Pater. First play from scrimmage. The senior quarterback, Johnson, on the quarterback blast. Breaks free. I don't even think he was touched by a defender on that play. Takes that ball 72 yards. And in the first 30 seconds of the game, the Rams lead 7-0. We were talking about how we thought this game would go prior to going live this evening, and that never came up on any of the bingo cards we made. A first play touchdown for Bangor, and now they'll kick it off to Oxford Hills to try to match. Polkinen and Cam Roy going to be back deep to return for Oxford Hills. Tennant set to kick it for the Rams. Here's the kickoff from Tennant. Polkinen will field it right at the 10-yard line. Now he's going to try to make a return of his own. Here he goes up the left side, cuts it back inside around the 35-yard line. A nice return of over 25 yards. And that'll bring Dylan Truman and the Viking offense out onto the field for the first time, trying to replicate what they just saw the Rams offense do. A one-play touchdown. I think the Vikings will be more than happy with just punching it into the end zone on their first drive. They'll begin at their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10. We do have an update before this 1st and 10 play. Portland is currently leading Deering in the second quarter, 21-0. Truman back to throw on the first snap, pump fake, moving to his left, trying to evade pressure, pops it over, and he finds Wyatt Grover down the field. Past midfield, he's still at the sideline. Wyatt Grover, he did not step out of bounds. One defender to beat, trying to run over him. He's brought down at the 10 by Jordan Petway. Almost replicated it on the first play. Grover, who missed time earlier this year with an injury, comes up in a big way. There's a flag down, or did he step out of bounds? It looks like there's some laundry on that play. Is the Vikings offense moving back? And it looks to be a holding down the field. So wipe out the huge play. We will replay first down, but the penalty, it looks like they're going to spot this at the 44 of the Vikings. So 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Ball placed at the 44-yard line. Makes this a 1st and about 4 yards. Polkinen in motion, high snap. Truman corrals it, throws it away, out of harm's way. We'll see if they call that intentional grounding. It doesn't look like it. I don't see flags. There was a flag down, but it looks to be waved off. Yes, that is what's happening. So what could have been a disastrous play, the senior quarterback able to think on his feet, get that ball out, and keep the drive alive for Oxford Hills. It's 2nd and 4. He loses the ball this time. He's able to get it back, throws it downfield. It looks to be incomplete. It is on the ground, incomplete. Looks like Jackson Stack, the intended target on that pass. So it's 3rd down for Oxford Hills. And now I'm not sure. It is wicked cold out tonight. It could be just the leather on that football a little hard on the hands of Truman, having it bobble on him that time. Got to get something going here on 3rd down, keep this drive alive. Roy in the backfield to Truman's right. Here's 3rd down. Truman looking to throw, fires left side, incomplete. Looking for Jackson Stack again, and it's 4th down. So the 1st down and 10 play. Huge completion to Wyatt Grover all the way down to the Bangor 10-yard line. That play wiped out due to a penalty. But it did set up Oxford Hills in a 1st and about 3 or 4. And now 3 straight incomplete passes. They have Cam Polkinen on to punt this away. Polkinen got the snap. It was a little high, but he's able to get this deep down the field. Fair catch called for right at the 22-yard line by Tennant. And Bangor will take back over. Rams, 1 offensive play, 1 touchdown. Tying their scoring from a week ago on their first drive. They punched it in. Weren't able to do so again for the remainder of that game. Looking to change that this time out. It's a handoff. Up past the 25, it looks like, for Zach Coda. And they'll place this right in front of the 25-yard line, about the 27 it looks like. So call it a gain of 5. Bring up 2nd and 5. Johnson, he's going to run it himself again, trying to go up the middle. This time he's brought down, but it is going to be enough yardage to move the sticks on 2nd down. We'll spot this all the way at the 34, so it's a gain of 7 yards on 2nd and 5. This drive continues. Motion man, they fake it to him. Johnson keeps it himself, but he's wrapped up immediately by Curtis Fogg. That'll be a minimal gain. Looks like just right back to the line of scrimmage. Nice tackle from the senior linebacker that time. Brings up 2nd and 10. Eli Marsh is in the backfield for the Rams. Motion man's Tennant. They toss it out to Marsh. He's going to get upfield, fighting up to the 40-yard line is Marsh. It'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd and about 4 after the gain of 6. First 3rd down for the Rams this evening. They lead 7-0 with about 8:15 showing on the clock in the first quarter. 5-man front for Oxford Hills. Johnson looking for an audible. I don't think he can hear him. They tried this last week for a trick play. They may be setting that up for later in the game. But here's 3rd and 4 for Johnson. And timeout. It's like head coach David Morris didn't like what he saw out there on that 3rd and 4 play. Trying to really relay something to his quarterback, but the fans here super loud, making it hard to hear down there on the field. They have to burn a timeout here in the first quarter. Talk over this 3rd and 4 play. All the other Class A playoff matchups beginning at 7 p.m., as is this game right now. So the only game we have updates for is the Portland and Deering game, like I mentioned earlier, 21-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. If Portland able to keep that lead and win that matchup, they will play the winner of this matchup at home. And the winner of our game of the week will travel to Portland next week. That is if the Bulldogs hold on. They have split backs, Coda and Marsh to either side of Johnson. Marsh motions out right. Johnson running it, gonna keep it himself, trying to get upfield. It looks like he's right at the line. The official on the near side, it looks like he's marking him short. And it will bring up 4th and 1. Couldn't quite get enough, but the offense staying on the field. They need 1 yard. It's 4th down for Bangor. Vikings stacking the box here. Trying to push it forward on the QB sneak. Still a pile, no whistle. Finally, there's a whistle. It looks like he got enough just based on where the officials are spotting him. 1st down. I'm sure you can hear the Viking faithful not too pleased with the result of that 4th down play. Drive stays alive for Bangor with a fresh set of downs. Shotgun formation. Marsh comes in motion. Johnson hands it to Coda. Coda barrels up the middle, up past the 45, but not much further. Gain of about 2 yards on that carry, up to the 46. Halfway through this first quarter, Bangor leads Oxford Hills 7-0. Rams with possession, 2nd and 8. Johnson, quick throw over onto the left side. Tackled right at midfield is Hayden Summerlin with his first catch. And another 3rd down due up for the Rams. Vikings' job not to let them get close enough for a quarterback sneak on 4th down. Need to keep them a few yards in front of that marker. Third and 4 for the Rams. Empty backfield. Marsh comes in motion. They fake it to him. Whistles prior to the snap, and another timeout charge to Bangor.
Timeout taken by Rams.
That's a second straight third down. We've seen Bangor burn a timeout already in this first quarter. One remaining in the first half. That'll be something to look out for as we head to the end of the first half. They're trying to mount a drive with one timeout remaining. That's another 12 or so minutes from now of game time. In real time, the Rams have it 3rd and 4, right at midfield. They need to get just about to the 45. It's more like 4.5 yards to the first. Rams come out of the timeout. They get right to the football. Cota is going to be in the backfield with Johnson. They've got Trips with a tight end to his left. Marsh comes in motion across. They're going to give it to Eli Marsh, trying to bounce it to the outside. He's going to be short. Marsh extends at the tail end of that play, gets a couple extra inches, but it is going to be 4th down. Fourth and inches. They're at that 46-yard line, but it was about 4.5 yards to the first. They're still a few inches away. Power set from the offense. Johnson keeps it himself. Got the first down and more. Here he goes, breaking tackles up the sideline again. Going to be tackled shy of the 35-yard line, but good enough to get a first down and much more. Two third downs this drive. They're 0 for on those. 2 fourth downs on this drive. They are perfect on those. This drive keeps moving, about 3:40 left in this first quarter. They'll break the huddle. Johnson hands to Cota. Cota is swallowed up. Flag is down right at the 35-yard line. So a minimal gain. We'll wait to see what the call is. I believe they're signaling it's a hold on the Rams, so that'll push him back 10. So Vikings defense catches a bit of a break. It'll now be 1st and 20. Now, a big reason why Oxford Hills beat Bangor last week, A, they didn't turn the ball over at all. They played a really clean game on offense. And B, their defense forced 4 takeaways in that game, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Bangor being very, very careful with the football in this first quarter, trying to avoid a repeat of last week. So far, so good. They lead 7-0 in the first quarter. Split backs on 1st and 20. Johnson back to throw. He's looking left, pump fakes, has to step up, and he's going down. He is sacked that time. It is Jaden Mason bringing him down right near midfield. This will bring up 2nd and about 23 to go. Second down. Whistle's blown prior to the snap. They're discussing something on the field. I believe they've once again told the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School band to no longer play music while Bangor has possession of the football, much like last week. Here is a second down play. Looks like a screen pass. Johnson fires it deep down the field. No screen at all. It is in and out of the hands of Keegan Ridley. Incomplete, and third down coming up. Trey Tennant, the intended target. It looked like Johnson caught the snap, rolls out to his left immediately, and it looked like his line kind of setting up for a screen. Instead, he rotates his hips, fires it down the field, and he's almost picked off by the sophomore Keegan Ridley. It's incomplete, so it's third and forever for the Rams. They need 23 to keep this drive going. Third down, they fake the handoff, play action, throw it on the field, incomplete. It's the other Ridley, Mason Ridley, breaking up that pass intended for Will Houghton, and it's fourth down. It's back-to-back plays. Ridley almost had a pick on second and third down. They force both incomplete. And now Johnson set to punt this away for the first time. Polkinen and Carter Davis deep to return for Oxford Hills. Johnson gets this punt down the field. Polkinen gonna let it bounce, and it's gonna keep on rolling down to about the 3-yard line. An excellent punt from the senior quarterback. This pins Oxford Hills deep in their own territory for their second drive of this first quarter. About 2 minutes remain in this first quarter. Vikings trail by 7. They are backed way up by their own end zone. Truman in the gun, first and 10. Whistle blown right before the snap. Flag down. If it's on the Vikings, it is a full start, so half the distance to the goal. We'll put it at the 1.5-yard line. We'll try it again. First and about 11 yards, back deep up in their own territory. Truman fires left side. It was tipped. Almost picked off in the end zone, but couldn't quite fall on it. It's incomplete. Second down. It was a hard angle for us to see. It looked like that ball was traveling just wide. It ended up being going backwards in the end zone, tipped as he threw that one. And they're bringing Truman off the field, and they're bringing Chris Levesque onto the field. So when they break this huddle, probably see Polkinen with Malachi Sparks and Chris Levesque on either side of him. It is what we see. Remember, backed up against Wyndham, they scored on a 98-yard touchdown in this formation. Polkinen takes the snap, trying to get out of his own end zone. He will, but he is thrown down to the ground. Tackle is by Kyle Johnson. No gain on the play. It's third down. It's a good job by Polkinen. He really had no room to the outside. He cuts it back in just to prevent the safety. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage and keep this drive alive for the Vikings, but they are facing 3rd and 11. They'll run that same formation again. We'll call it the Wildcat with Pulkkinen, and timeout is called. Pulkkinen's trying to call timeout. He's not going to get it. Snap is over his head into the end zone. It's a safety. A very, very costly mistake. So just less than a minute in this first quarter remaining. And with the safety, it is now 9-0 Bangor. Vikings will punt this away to Bangor following the safety, or they'll kick it off. Pulkkinen's putting it on the tee. Summerlin back to return, as well as Ethan Sproul. And what's going on here? Pulkkinen stops running up halfway as whistles blew. They'll reset and take number 2. Squibs it. It's going to be fielded at the 43. Falling on it is Jordan Petway, I believe. So they'll take it there in Viking territory, right at the 43-yard line. First play touchdown on the opening drive, forced a punt after a very long second drive, and now they have it less than a minute left in this first quarter. They lead 9-0 following the safety. First down, keeper is for Johnson. He's slippery. Up past the 30-yard line, moves the chains. Up to the 29-yard line. Time winding down in this first quarter. Marsh to Johnson's left in the backfield. Johnson hands it to him. Going right up the middle. He's going to be tackled for a gain of about a yard, but not much else to speak of. Looks like they'll get him up to the 27-yard line, so a gain of 2. And that should bring us down to the end of the first quarter. I don't think they'll run another play. And we'll flip sides of the field. End of the first quarter. Bangor leads Oxford Hills 9-0. While we have a second, just want to give a big shout out to our supporting sponsors, Ripley and Fletcher Ford, Big Apple Food Stores, and CN Brown Energy. Huge shout out to those for being this year's supporting sponsors for high school sports on WOXO and BRG Sports. If you or someone you know would like to become a sponsor of Vikings Varsity Athletics here on WOXO and BRG Sports. Of course, we got basketball season coming right up, and the remainder of this football season All you got to do is call 207-743-5911. One more time for you guys, 207-743-5911. Bangor will have it when we come back onto the field. 2nd and about 8 deep into Oxford Hills territory. They lead 9-0. Marsh in the backfield with Johnson as we're awaiting the whistle to resume play in this second quarter. There's the whistle. They'll get to the line. Here's 2nd down. Johnson keeps it himself. Room to run, jumping down at around the 22-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down. Nice gain of 5 that time. Another 3rd down for the Rams. Here, is that right? Is that stat right? They're 0 for 5 on 3rd down? I don't think it is. But it is 3rd down. Johnson takes it himself, cuts upfield, and he will convert, falling forward inside the Vikings' 20-yard line. They'll mark him right at the 15, and it is 1st and 10 from the red zone. And I believe it was a timeout by Oxford Hills. It didn't look like either side knew exactly what was going on. But 1st and 10, ball at the Viking 15-yard line. Rams can smell a 2nd touchdown. If they put up 7 right here, that would put Bangor up 3 possessions. No, it wouldn't. It would put them up 2 possessions. It would be 16. So it would still be a 2-possession game for Oxford Hills should Bangor punch this in. That 2 possessions being Vikings scoring 2 touchdowns and converting both 2-point conversions. Still a little early to be talking about that. We're at the start of the second quarter and a lot of time left to be played. Bangor comes back out, 1st and 10. Johnson. He takes it, runs out to his left, sprinting, trying to get upfield. He's dragged down. Looks like it'll be about 4 or 5 on the 1st down carry for the quarterback. We'll bring up 2nd down. Yeah, gain of 4 on the 1st down. Quarterback keeper. Here it is, 2nd and about 6. Handoff to Marsh. He falls forward to the 10, so it's about a gain of 2 yards. I think they'll mark him at the 9. And they'll put him back at the 10. It's 3rd down. Some more updates. Third quarter now for the Portland versus Deering game. The Bulldogs lead 28-0. It's looking likely that Portland will advance, and the winner of this game will travel and play the Bulldogs next week. We'll have some more after this 3rd and 5. Johnson sprints out left, keeping it himself. He is into the end zone. Not much to see on the far side of the field. The official puts his arms in the air, signals touchdown, a second rushing score for the senior quarterback. And Rams now lead 15-0.
Heldon returns to field the ball in the air. No coach on the toughest returners to field the ball. Call a fair catch. They're letting it roll when they hold the position. When we go first play, go counter. We can kick 10. He's not playing discipline.
And they are not going to kick the point after. Fumbled snap. And Polkinen drives Alex Tennant into the ground. Running a power I, Tennant fumbles the snap. Trying to make something out of that. It looked like Bangor lining up for 2 to make it a 3-possession game. They don't convert it. And they still lead 15-0, but it makes Oxford Hills only need 1 2-point conversion to tie the game up. With 9:43 left in the second quarter, still plenty of time remaining for the Vikings to get back into this game. They need to change what they're doing on offense. Pinned back on their second drive, high snap out of the back of the end zone, set Bangor up for that scoring drive following a safety. And they went 3 and out on their opening drive. Not much offense to speak of for the Vikings. But our other Class A regional semifinal games, Thornton Academy is leading South Portland in the second quarter 14-0. And the closer of the two games, Bonnie, Eagle, and Noble, the Scots are leading 14-6 in the second quarter of that game. Kick is away from Trey Tennant, fielded about the 11-yard line. Cam Polkinen, he has room to run, getting upfield. Polkinen breaks through one tackle, stays on his feet. Polkinen still going, he's down at the 48-yard line. Excellent return from a senior captain of this football team. Sets the Vikings up in terrific field position at the 48-yard line. They need a scoring drive bad right here. Get some momentum going their way. It looks like they'll even mark them at the 49-yard line. Some yards shy of that midfield stripe. 1st and 10, Oxford Hills. Motion man is Polkinen. They fake the jet sweep. Roy runs up the middle. No running room to speak of. Lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage on that first down carry. Keep it 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Second down, Truman in the gun. Polkinen motions across. Cuts back out, swing pass out to Polkinen on the left side, trying to get upfield. He's going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Bangor able to get there. It looked like it was Eli Marsh and Wyatt Firo wrapping him up right back at the 49. And it's 3rd and 10 very, very quickly for the Vikings. Roy in the backfield. 3rd and 10. Truman hands to him. Roy gets forward across midfield. Maybe to the 48, but it's 4th down. I'll call it the 49, so it's a gain of 2. 4th and 8. And it looks like another 3 and out for Oxford Hills. Sproul and Trey Tennant back to return. Kick is away. It's a very deep kick. It's going to bounce at the 10 and into the end zone. No return. So the Rams will take back over at the 20-yard line. The big thing for the Rams last week, they turned the football over 4 times. They've taken much better care of the ball here this week, and they have a 15-point lead. Quarterback keeper, Johnson. He gets 4 on the carry. It's not just they were turning the ball over. It would set Oxford Hills up in really good field position, making it easy for them to drive the remainder of the field and punch it in. We've seen them, Oxford Hills, that previous drive after the really nice return from Pulkinen, their own 48, that's the furthest up the field they've started. They had a drive start at their own 3-yard line. That resulted in a safety for the Vikings. Whistles prior to the snap. I think they're going to wait for the band to stop playing. Yeah, they did it last week. They're going to do it again. They're not going to allow the band to play while Bangor has possession of the ball. And I don't think the Oxford Hills band cares too much about what the officials think. They're going to keep on playing anyway. And we might see flags get thrown against Oxford Hills for that. It does look like that's what happened. I thought I saw a flag fly down. But yeah, coach is walking over and telling the band to stop. And no penalty, but they're going to continue here, 2nd and 6. Listen to those bleachers. Here it is. Marsh gets the handoff. He's going down in the backfield. It looks like he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, no gain. It brings up 3rd down. I was talking about it last week. I mean, as long as I have been around Oxford Hills and the Vikings and everything, I mean, I was in high school here in 2017. The high school band has always played while the Viking defense is on the field, regardless if the ball's in play or not. So it is weird to me that they're trying to enforce this now. But it is 3rd and 6. Johnson back to throw, evades the sack, throws it downfield. It is intercepted by Keegan Ridley. Great hands, kid. A turnover, and the Vikings take over, 1st and 10. Cam Pulkinen almost sacked Kyle Johnson. Johnson evades, fires the ball down the field, and he finds the hands of the sophomore Keegan Ridley. The first turnover for the Rams here in this contest, and it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Jet sweep, Pulkkinen trying to get to the outside, cuts it back in. He's going down for a loss. Looks like he's going to go back a yard on that first down carry. Call it a loss of 2, back to the 49, 2nd and 12. 5:20 remaining in this first half. Vikings trail by 15. Truman back to throw, fires quickly, left side, incomplete. It looked like there was a bit of confusion between receivers who that was intended for. It looked like a throw to Stack on the outside that Pulkkinen may have gotten in the way of his eyes of putting his hands up for it. But it does fall to the ground harmlessly, but it will bring up 3rd and 12. Facing a potential for another 3 and out in this first half. Empty backfield for Dylan Truman. 5 wide. He's back, looking down the field, fires. It is tipped and incomplete. Looking for Cam Roy, but it's Trey Tennant knocking it down and bringing up 4th down. It was a nice throw from Truman, just not quite where he wanted it. It looked like if he got that ball just a little more out in front, that could have been 6 to Cam Roy. But it is incomplete after the nice defensive play from Tennant, and it's 4th down. As the rain is starting to fall here in South Paris, things might get a bit slippery. Punt is away, fielded by Sproul at the 10. Sproul, they're fighting for it. They're trying to rip the ball out. Not going to happen. So yet another drive for the Vikings ending in a 3 and out. And the Rams will take back over following the interception on their previous drive. They lead by 15, about 4.5 minutes or so remaining in this first half. Split backs for the Rams. They motion out Marsh. And Johnson will keep it himself, trying to get up the sideline. A couple defenders dragging him down, and he is stuck outside. Gains about 5 on that carry. Call it up to about the 25, 26 yard line. Kyle Johnson, take out the pick. He's had a phenomenal game. 14 carries, 140 yards, plus the 2 touchdowns. He is willing this Bangor team for a chance at the Class A North Regional Final next week. Here's the handoff, brought down in the backfield. Curtis Fogg wrapped him up, and it's 3rd down. A loss of 1 for Eli Marsh on the carry. 3rd and 6 due up. Motion man, flag is thrown. Delay of game is the call. That'll push them back 5 and make this 3rd and 11 for the Rams. See if they dial up something different on 3rd and long. Here it is. Johnson rolls out to his right, looking downfield. He's got his man complete to Gavin Glanville-True, and that is a first down for the Rams. Excellent throw from Johnson, rolling to his right, puts it right on the money, and moves the sticks once again for the Rams. 1st and 10 from the 32. Just a little over 3 minutes left in the first half. Johnson quick fires over on the left. He misses his mark. Intended that time for Jordan Petway. Incomplete, 2nd down. I mentioned the rain a little bit ago. Bangor swapping out the football as often as possible, having one of their players with a towel come get it, dry it off for the next play. And it looked like Petway, trying to cut back, slipped on that route. Part of the reason that ball was incomplete. So that is something we're going to have to look for as this game progresses. The weather playing a huge factor in this stage of the game. 2nd and 10. Play action. Johnson fires deep down the left sideline. He's got a man wide open. He sails it over his head. Glanville-True, the intended target, incomplete. And there was no one in front of him. Nothing but green grass. Johnson, a little too much mustard or mayo on that pass. Incomplete, and it's 3rd and long once again. They run split backs again. 3rd down, play action. Johnson, he's under fire. He loses the football. Bangor able to fall on it. With 3 defenders swarming Johnson. Plenty of linemen to fall on that fumble. Cam Polkin in the first one there, trying to knock the football out. And it's 4th down. It looks like a timeout. It's an Oxford Hills timeout called. So now both teams with 1 remaining, with a little over 2.5 minutes left in this first half. Plenty of time for the Vikings to try to put something together and get on the scoreboard before halftime. They have been struggling in this first half. 3 and outs, 4 if you include the safety out of the back of the end zone on 3rd down. Not much offense to speak of besides that one literal first play from scrimmage for the offense that got wiped out due to a penalty. Other than that, not much to speak of. The Rams defense has been everywhere the Vikings are trying to get to. Polkinen and Davis back to return. Johnson set to boot it away. It looks like it's going to bounce in front of Polkinen. Picks it up at the 37. Polkinen gets to the outside, trying to cut back in across midfield to about the 48-yard line. So another drive they'll start in Bangor territory. And another drive they'll start at the Bangor 48. How about that? 2:24 showing on the clock. Enough time for one last Viking drive if they can get something going here. One timeout at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10. Truman, pump fake, fires it down the left sideline, over the head of everyone in the area. Jackson Stack, the intended target, and it looks Jordan Petway in on the coverage. Truman has not completed a pass in this first half. He is 0 for 7 throwing the football. Of course, not including the first play wiped out by penalty where he did complete a pass. But it is 2nd and 10. Pulkkinen goes in motion. Pop pass, looked like it almost was fumbled. Pulkkinen able to corral it. He's up to the 41-yard line. So a gain of 7 on the 2nd down. Call it a carry for Pulkkinen, and 3rd and about 3 to go. And for this 3rd down play, Pulkkinen off to the sideline. Time winding down, 1:45 showing on the clock. Here's 3rd down. Grover moves over. Truman, quarterback keeper. He's going to be wrapped up, swarmed in the backfield. They'll whistle it dead. Whistled dead. Truman on the keeper. Moves backwards. They put him at the 44-yard line. And it's 4th down. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. It doesn't look like Bangor is keen to use their final timeout. Could just be happy as the Vikings are going for it. Bangor gets a stop. They'll have it close to midfield with 1 timeout. Time winding down. Vikings need about 6 to the mark. Truman back to throw. Down the field. He's incomplete. Looking for Cam Pulkkinen that time. And a turnover on downs for the Vikings. So the Rams, 40 seconds left in the first half. They have it at their own 44-yard line with 1 timeout. Johnson in the gun. Takes the snap. He hands it off to Eli Marsh. Marsh barrels forward. He's going to be marked around the 48-yard line on the 1st down carry. Good enough for about 4 yards. Time winding down. Enough time for maybe one more play. And now they're just going to be happy taking this 15-point lead into the locker room. No need for them to run another snap as 15 seconds start to wind down. That will bring us to the end of the first half. Bangor on the road, up against the Vikings, 15-0. As we'll take a break, we'll come back for our Coastal Auto Parts Napa halftime show and talk about some of the things going on both here and around the state. But you are watching our Twin Town Homes game of the week on 92.7 and 100.7 WOXO and on BRG Sports. Welcome into our Coastal Auto Parts Napa halftime show of our Twin Town Homes game of the week. The Bangor Rams, third seeded, they lead 15-0 over the second seeded Oxford Hills Vikings, and it has been all Bangor in this first half. We have seen, let's count it, 4 3-and-outs and a turnover on downs, making it a 4-and-out for the Vikings. Not much offense for them to speak of in that first half. Dylan Truman 0 of 8 throwing the football in the first half. The Bangor defense has been relentless, knocking the ball out of the way, breaking up passes, stuffing the run. I mean, Bangor came out today ready to play, and it showed on the first snap of the game when Kyle Johnson took a 72-yard stroll into the end zone on the first play from scrimmage to open up the scoring 7-0. Since then, a safety by the Vikings and another Kyle Johnson touchdown with a missed 2-point try makes this game 15-0. Oxford Hills will receive the second half kickoff. Still very much anyone's game, but if Oxford Hills can't get their offense moving in this second half, it'll be Bangor moving on to play the Portland Bulldogs as they lead Daring 28-7 in the fourth quarter. It's the tail end of that fourth quarter, so that game almost over and done with. If I can see if there's any official end score for that game, the only final notice I've seen is from the Herman-Nokomis game as well as the Falmouth and Kennebunk game. So Deering and Portland at least still in the fourth quarter. Bonnie Eagle leads Noble 21-6 at halftime, and Thornton Academy leads South Portland 14-6 at halftime. Those are the two games from the Class A South Regional Semifinals. We've still got a second half here to play between the Vikings and the Rams, and it's about to get started right now. And as we start this second half here shortly, went over some of the highs and lows in that first half. We still got our Topsom Tractor of Norway player of the game to give out immediately following the end of the fourth quarter. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you can leave a comment and go ahead. I'll be checking them. I have a pretty good idea if the game ended right now, who it would be. But maybe you guys have some other ideas. Maybe some defender is making every single play on defense. I haven't seen it. Just got to let me know. The Rams set to kick it away. Trey Tennant will put it on the tee. Cam Roy and Cam Polkinen back deep to return for the Vikings as the rain is falling heavy in South Paris. Second half, squib kick underway, fielded by Carter Davis up the middle. He's going to take it to the 42-yard line. That's a very smart decision to have Davis right there. A punt returner for the Vikings. He gets 12 on the return, up to about the 42-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will begin the second half at their own 42-yard line. 0 first downs in the first half for the Vikings. Truman takes the first down snappy, hands it to Cam Roy. Roy gets forward about 6-7 yards on first down. It's going to mark him right at the 48-yard line. No, up to the 49, so officially gain of 7 on the first down carry. 2nd and 3 for Oxford Hills. These two teams, if you're just joining, played last week as well. The Vikings won that matchup 34-7 in order to have this playoff game be a home game for them. Back-to-back weeks, the Rams and the Vikings playing as Carter Davis barrels forward. He's going to get to the Bangor 45-yard line, and the first down of the game for the Oxford Hills offense. Davis's helmet came off, so he'll have to come out for at least a play. That'll put Cam Pulkkinen back in the huddle as the Vikings have it 1st and 10 in Bangor territory. Truman hands it off. Barreling forward, getting 6 on the carry. Keegan Ridley, his first carry of this evening's game, goes for 6 and brings up 2nd down. 3 plays into the second half, Vikings offense looks a lot better than it did in that first half. 2nd and 4. Roy in the backfield. Truman fumbles the snap. It's down at the 42. And that fumble right there may have been caused by the weather. It's definitely going to be a factor. Not only is it raining, it is probably the coldest it's been all season on a Friday night. It's 42 degrees right now. Feels like 37. Cold and wet playoff game. And the Vikings face 3rd and 7. Truman takes it, fires left side. It's caught by Carter Davis, but he falls to the ground. He's going to be short of the 1st down. This should be close enough to go for it. He falls at the 38-yard line is where it's placed, so a gain of 4. 4th and 3. Bangor's defense 1 play away from forcing another turnover on downs. Vikings need 3. Truman hands it to Ridley. Running room. He is going to be short. He didn't get there. He got up to the 36. He needed to get to the 35. And Oxford Hills, they turn it over on downs on their first drive out of the half. Bangor takes over at their own 37, 1st and 10. Here's Bangor, 1st and 10. Johnson fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. He gets up. Looks like they're marking him right at the 38-yard line. Call it the 39, so a gain of 2 on the quarterback keeper. And the Rams, their second drive took a long time, a lot of time off the clock. It ended in a punt. But if they can replicate that drive, take as much time off the clock as possible every single drive, they have a good shot to win this. Direct snap to the quarterback. He's going to sprint out to his left, fighting through tackles up past the 40-yard line, close to the 45, but he's going to be a yard shy. Gain of 5 and a 3rd and 3 due up for the Rams. They're coming right back to the football. Power running set. Watch for another keeper. That's exactly what it is. Johnson sprints out left, 1st down, and much more. Past midfield up to about the 42-yard line into Viking territory with a fresh set of downs. They'll get right back on the football again. They like the look they're in. They're going to keep running it. 1st and 10 at the 42. Johnson hands it off. Eli Marsh gets a decent chunk of change on the 1st down carry. Whistle's blown, and a timeout taken by the Vikings. First timeout of this second half taken by Oxford Hill. 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. They still trail 15-0. Had a promising opening drive going. They end up turning it over on downs, and Bangor has been pretty much able to do whatever they wanted on their first drive out of the halftime break. They are set up 2nd and 3 to go when the teams get back out onto the field. It does look like the rain has let up a little bit, but the grass on that field probably still soaked, as it was raining pretty much throughout the entire halftime. It was raining pretty hard. Bleachers soaked, fans in the stands are soaked. And the condition of the ball on the field going to be a continued factor that we have to monitor throughout the rest of this game. Second down for the Rams as they break the huddle. Johnson hands off to Marsh. He barrels forward, brought down by Ridley, but it should be good enough to move the sticks once again for the Rams. Gain of 4 on that carry, marked right at the 30-yard line. .30 yards away from the end zone. Rams come to 1st and 10. Marsh in the backfield to Johnson's right. Fake it to him. Johnson going to keep it himself. Goes airborne a little bit on that hit by Malachi Sparks. It's a gain of 5 on the 1st down run. So 2nd and 5 due up for the Rams. Kyle Johnson's more or less been able to do whatever he's wanted this game. He's a 1 carry shy of 20. He's got 157 yards on the ground to go along with both Bangor touchdowns. He's going to take it himself for carry number 20. He's going to be about a yard shy of the marker. We'll see if he's at the 22. Yeah, so a gain of 3 on the 2nd down carry, 3rd and short. As they are trying to kill the clock here, all runs on this drive. 5:15 or so left in this 3rd quarter, nursing a 15-0 lead. Look from the offense. It's a handoff to Marsh. He dives forward. I think they're going to get him short. They'll mark him right back at the line of scrimmage for 4th down. And it's one of those awkward down and distances, especially in high school football, where you're not sure if your field goal kicker could make this, but you're way too close to the end zone to punt. So Bangor on the field to go for it on 4th down. They are 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. Looking for number 3, 4th and 2. Johnson keeps it himself. He's dragged forward and should be good enough to keep this drive moving. needed 2, and he got 3 on 4th down. Make them a perfect 3 for 3 on conversion tries on 4th down. They now have it 1st and 10 inside the red zone. Johnson fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, runs into about 4 Viking defenders, flagged down on the backside of that run. Marker's right on the 18-yard line. That one may be coming back. Holding on the Rams is the call. So it'll set up a 1st and 20 now at the 29. Bangor breaks the huddle, back up to the line. 1st and 20 from the 29. Johnson keeps it himself, trying to get up the middle, breaks out of 1 tackle. He's going to be close to the original line of scrimmage, gain of 9. I think they're going to mark him a bit shy at the 20. Looks to be the spot, so it'll bring up 2nd and 11 yards. It looked like the Vikings almost had him in the backfield, but Johnson, big and strong, able to break free and almost get 10 yards on that carry. But after the holding penalty, it's still 2nd and long. Trying the hard count here. Johnson looks off to the sideline. He'll come back, takes the snap, keeps it left side, breaks free, still going. It looks like he has enough for the 1st on the far side of the field. He keeps getting grabbed in the backfield, but Johnson, they might have brought Butter all the way down from Bangor for the trip because he is slippery and evasive, continuing to break tackles, and it is 3rd and 1 from the 10-yard line. Third and 1. Johnson keeps it himself, trying to get out to the right side. Looks like he's back at the line of scrimmage for 4th down. Johnson, 24 carries, 182 yards. He's brought the Rams to this 15-0 lead, and on 4th and 1, looks like they're going to go for it again. About a minute left in this 3rd quarter. Vikings need a stop in a bad way if they want to try to get back into this ball game. Here it is, 4th down. He takes it himself. Johnson breaks free, and his 3rd touchdown of the game. Johnson just shy of 200 yards on the game. There's a flag down. This is after the play, well after the play's over. Flag is thrown back in the end zone. I assume it's going to be an unsportsmanlike of some kind. It is on the Vikings. So it's unsportsmanlike on the Vikings. That'll push it half the distance to the goal. So about the 1.5 yard line, which is why Bangor's lining up for a 2-point try. They get this, it'll make it 23-0. Still, regardless, it's a 3-possession game. Currently 21-0. Johnson keeps it, trying to bounce forward. Vikings wrap him up and keep him out. So the 2-point try is no good. This game stays 21-0. 36 seconds left in this third quarter. It's a 3-possession game. So the Vikings have about 12.5 minutes to score 3 touchdowns, or their season is over. And Bangor couldn't have asked for a better beginning to the second half than they just got. They forced the Vikings, turn it over on downs, and then take pretty much the rest of the third quarter to walk it down the field, punch it in, extend their lead, and they took a lot of time off the clock in doing so, making a win for the Rams ever more likely. They line up to kick it off. Polkinen and Roy back deep to return. Tennant will get it right to Cam Roy at the 14. Roy moves to his right. He's dragged down. Ethan Sproul, what an open field tackle. Flag down back at the 38-yard line, but it was just thrown. We'll have to see what that call is. For the meantime, it looks to be about the 24-yard line. Roy returned it to. Holding on the Vikings is the call. So this ball will be placed right around the 15-yard line. Yeah, the Vikings have it right at the 15, and they have a lot of work to do. 1st and 10. Polkinen in motion, fake the sweep, it's a handoff to Roy, and he's not going very far at all. He gets backwards, actually, loses a yard on the first down carry, maybe a yard or two. That'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. We'll flip sides of the field, but Oxford Hills, they trail 21-0 at the end of this third quarter. And while we are in between quarters, give a quick shout out to all of our supporting sponsors. Obviously, Twin Town Homes with our game of the week. Our Topsom Tractor of Norway player of the game, which, a reminder, you guys can still put your input on. Obviously, our pregame and halftime show sponsor, Coastal Auto Parts Napa, and our other supporting sponsors, Ripley and Fletcher Ford, Big Apple Food Stores, and C&N Brown Energy. Huge shout out to every one of those for being this year's supporting sponsors for high school sports on WOXO and BRG Sports. Basketball season's right around the corner. So if you or someone you know would like to become a sponsor of Vikings Varsity Athletics on WOXO and BRG Sports, just gotta go get your phone out and call 207-743-5911. One more time, 207-743-5911. Vikings break the huddle and ready to begin this fourth and final quarter. Empty backfield for Dylan Truman. as they trail by 21. Pulkkinen gets it on the sweep, trying to bounce it to the outside. He's going backwards. Bangor has been swarming all game long, and they continue into the fourth. Loss of 3 that time for Pulkkinen.
Loss of 3 on the play. Bring a third down for the Vikings.
Third and about 15, due up for Oxford Hills. As some more updates, Portland has defeated Deering 35-14, so the winner of this game will travel and play the Bulldogs next week in the Class A North Regional Final. Thornton Academy leads South Portland 14-6 in the third quarter, and Bonnie Eagle leads Noble 21-6 in the third quarter. Play clock winding down, so the Vikings forced to use their second timeout. They'll have 1 remaining with about 11 minutes left in this fourth quarter and potentially their season. Bangor, clearly a sour taste in their mouths last week. Favored going into the matchup. They lose 34-7, and a long bus ride all the way back up to Bangor. They've had a lot to talk about this week, and everything that they've talked about, they have put on display here at the Gouin. They lead 21-0, and that defense has been phenomenal for the Rams tonight. Third and long for the Vikings. You got to think with the time and score, it's got to be 4-down territory. Truman back to throw, fires it down the field. He's way incomplete. Pulkkinen the nearest receiver, but I say near and about 5 yards away from that throw. It's 4th down, and it looks like Oxford Hills is set to punt. Pulkkinen set to boot it away. And with that kick, another 3 and out for the Vikings. Tennant fields it at the 43-yard line. Moves up to the right side. He's marked down right at the 33-yard line. Bangor will take back over right there.
Number 62, Landon Leonard on the tackle.
10:50 remaining in our Twin Town Homes game of the week. Bangor leads 21-0. First and 10, Johnson hands off to Marsh. Marsh gets about 7 yards on that carry. See them mark him right at the 27-yard line, just about. So gain of 6 on first down. And the Rams, I'm sure, more than happy to take their time on this drive. If they can drain this clock, if they take even 4 minutes off this clock and score a touchdown, I think that will all but seal a victory for Bangor. Vikings need a stop. They hand off to Marsh again. Marsh breaks free. Marsh up the sideline. Marsh into the end zone. Bangor now leads 27-0. Touchdown.
I've been calling you, but you just don't.
Carry operation.
I thought Kyle Johnson was the only slippery ball carrier for the Rams this game, but apparently he shared his secret stuff with Eli Marsh, breaking through for a couple tackles, finding his way into the end zone. And with that extra point by Gavin Glanville True, this game may be all but over. Bangor leads 28-0 with a little under 10 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Little under 10 minutes, one timeout remaining for Oxford Hills. They trail by 4 possessions. For them to come back, it's not impossible. It may be improbable. But we've seen stranger things happen. Squib kick, bounced away. Vikings just have to fall on it right at the 30-yard line. Slippery ball. Keeps on rolling and rolling. Someone falls on it at the 30. I couldn't really see in the pile of green. But that is where Oxford Hills will take over.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 30-yard line.
First and 10. Truman has to throw, fires left side, hit the hand of Polkin and he had to jump up for it. It's incomplete, brings up second down. Another incomplete pass for Truman, just 1 of 11. In this cold, wet Friday evening. They have it 2nd and 10. Truman, quick throw over on the left side. It looked like it might have been a screen pass to Jack Stack and sailed over, or maybe a receiver on the far side didn't think the ball was coming his way. Either way, that pass sails out of bounds, and it's 3rd and 10. $9:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. Truman on 3rd down, back to throw. Fires down the field. Flag is thrown. It's incomplete for the time being. Flag was thrown in the secondary. So we'll wait to see what the officials with the call on the field. Holding on the defense is the call. So that'll push the ball up to the 40-yard line and give Oxford Hills a first down. So new set of downs for the Vikings, 1st and 10 from their 40-yard line. 9:39 showing on the clock. Truman, sounded like a whistle, but play keeps resuming. That pass is knocked down by Will Houghton, the defensive end.
2nd and 10.
That pass looking like it was intended for Riley Perry of the Vikings. It's incomplete. Second down for the Vikings. Truman throws on the right side, high pass, but it's hauled in right on the sideline. Knocked down at the 49 is Cam Pulkinen.
Sideline gain. Tackle made by number 40, that's full.
So it's a gain of 9 on the second down pass, brings up 3rd and about a yard to go.
3rd and 1 for the Vikings.
A little over 9 minutes left in this 4th quarter. Vikings still scoreless. 3rd and 1. Truman hands off Keegan Ridley. First down and a bit more. Up past midfield, brought down right around the 47-yard line. Good enough to keep this drive moving for the Vikings. Just their 2nd first down of the game. 3rd, if you count the first down awarded to them after a defensive holding on this drive. But now into enemy territory with a fresh set of downs. Truman, low snap, snags it, fires left side wide open as Jackson Stack makes one defender miss. He's tackled and dragged up, multiple flags down at the tail end of that play.
First down.
But Stack's catch will be good enough for a Viking first down should the play stand. Looks like it is a penalty against the Rams.
Flag on the play with the face mask on the Rams.
It's a face mask penalty. So tack on an extra 15. Or no, either it was 15 from the spot, or they just declined the penalty. Flag is down at the 30. Snap the whistle it dead. I think that may have been just a flag from the previous. No, it's a penalty on the Vikings. It's a false start on Oxford Hills. So push him back 5. The ball is now placed at the 33-yard line. So 1st and 15 due up for the Vikes. 7:30 remaining in the 4th quarter. Here's the snap. Truman, pump fake. Feeling pressure, runs up. He is absolutely swallowed. He gets forward to avoid the sack. But Wyatt Firo wrapped him up from behind. Truman gets maybe a yard or 2 on that carry to avoid the sack up to the 31. So it's 2nd down and long. Little under halfway through this fourth and final quarter. Truman, quick throw over on the right on the slant, popped up, intercepted by the Rams. On the return, going to take it back. Hayden Summerlin up the sideline. Cam Roy giving chase. He trips him up, but he falls in. It's a pick six for Bangor.
Intercepted by number 18, Summerlin. Return for a Rams touchdown.
A series of unfortunate events on that play. Pass bounces off the hands of Riley Perry. Popped up into the air, and right place, right time. Hayden Summerlin snags it and takes it all the way back to put the icing on the cake of this game. Bangor looks to be going on to Portland next week to take on the Bulldogs. Point after, Glanville True knocks it through, 35-0. And while we see elation on the Bangor sideline, you see the opposite of that over on the Vikings. This will be all these seniors' final high school football game here at the Gouin. They earned the right to play here last week, defeating this team. This week, flip the script. Bangor with a very impressive performance. Kicker stumbles while booting that one away. Ridley fields it. He's brought down at the 38-yard line.
Kickoff by number 7, Trey Tanner. Fielded by number 14, Keegan Ridley. Number 31, Grant Crocker on the tackle.
So the Vikings will take over. 5:50 remaining. They're at the 39-yard line. First and 10 for the Vikings. Curtis Fogg gets the carry. Fogg powering forward. He gets forward to about the 47-yard line. Fogg, a senior on this Oxford Hills football team. With running time now in this fourth quarter. That 5 minutes you're seeing on the clock should be accurate to real time. Here's 2nd and 2 for the Vikings. Truman hands off to Ridley. Ridley gets forward past midfield down at around the 45-yard line. Nice carry of 8 yards from Ridley on 2nd down. Just a little over 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Truman hands off to Fogg, cuts inside, still on his feet, still churning forward. Gets about 10 yards on that carry up to the 35. They're going to mark him shy right at the 36. So it'll bring up a second down play. Fogg in the game at halfback. He gets another carry. Fogg moving forward. He stumbled that time, but he's down good enough for the first. Orkham right at that 32-yard line. First and 10 Vikings. Truman fires deep down the right sideline. Riley Perry, flag is thrown in the end zone. It's incomplete for the time being. Flag is thrown in the end zone, so it may be against Bangor. Well, both teams are moving back toward the line of scrimmage. And it looks like it's a pass interference on Bangor. Vikings and Rams lined up to run another play. But now they'll finally move the ball up the field. About the 16-yard line, first and 10. Truman hands off to Fogg. Fogg gets forward. Up past the 16. Looks to be about the 13-yard line and will get downed. 2:25 remaining in the Vikings season. Second and about 6. Truman to throw, pump fake, fires into the end zone. It is going to be caught by Jackson Stack. Vikings on the board, touchdown. Oxford Hills finds pay dirt. With 1:51 remaining, they're lined up to go for 2. They've got Polkinen, Levesque, and Sparks in their Wildcat. Polkinen takes it, sprints out left, comes up the field. Flag is down as he's in for 2 for the time being. False start is on the Vikings. So I guess they'll do it again. Ball placed back at the 8-yard line. They'll go for 2 once again. Perry comes in motion. Polkinen sprints out to the left, trying to get to the outside. He's going to be dragged. No, he's still on his feet. Polkinen, he's no good. They tackle him short. Officials on the call on the far side of the field. The 2-point try, no good for the Vikings.
Our score is 35-6.
And it's 35-6. And when the Vikings kick this off, I'm not sure if they'll try for an onside. I mean, at this point, why not, you know? But once Bangor gets possession back, all it'll take is a few kneel downs, and they will advance to the Class A North Regional Final. They'll be traveling to Portland as Portland defeated Deering in their game today. Vikings line up to kick this one away. They will boot it down the field. It is bouncing at the 30, stays right there. Fielded at the 28, that's where they'll take it.
Kickoff by Camp Hogan, recovered by number 16, Patrick.
So all the Rams have to do now is kneel this down a few times, and they'll get out of here with a victory. Back-to-back seasons, the Rams have ended Oxford Hill's season. Last year, in the regular season finale, as Bangor calls a timeout. Last year in the regular season finale, 20-6 for the Rams in a win or go home pseudo playoff game. Knocked the Vikings out. This year, the Vikings got their revenge in the regular season finale in order to earn a home playoff game. And Bangor comes back down to South Paris and will end the Vikings season for the second year in a row. And the Rams come back out in the victory formation. It only take about 3 kneel downs for this game to be over. Here's the first by Johnson. And for the seniors on this Oxford Hills team, Malachi Sparks, Riley Perry, Quentin Bandy, Curtis Fogg, Cameron Pulkinen, Dylan Truman, James Terry, Jaden Cox, Jackson Stack, Cam Roy, Christian Esparza, Jeremy Turner, Wyatt Grover, Chris Levesque, Carson Wing, Eli Young, Bryce Gallo, Miles Stafford, Jaden Mason, James Tedeschi. This will be their final high school football game of their high school careers. A bittersweet end. Obviously not how they wanted their season to end. But they battled all year long. They earned the second seed in the Class A North playoffs. Played hard all year, so they have a lot to be proud of this season. As this final kneel down by Johnson will end this game. Bangor is moving on in the playoffs. They officially win this game 35-6. As we will, as a formality, wait until these final 15 seconds finish up here. But our Topsom Tractor of Norway player of the game, I'm sure you could probably guess it. It's Kyle Johnson of Bangor. He played absolutely phenomenal today. 26 carries, 193 yards, and 3 touchdowns to help Bangor advance in the playoffs. Heck of a game from the senior quarterback for the Rams. But that will do it for us this evening. Thank you so much for joining us for this high school football season. We'll be back for varsity basketball season on 92.7 and 100.7 WOXO, and of course, here on BRG Sports. Have a good night.